You're listening to localwebradio.fm. Community-minded, locally focused.
Are you a hardworking business owner striving for success online? There is help. Welcome to the School of Internet Marketing podcast, featuring candid conversations and inspiring stories of online success. Now here's your host.
Hello, I hope everyone is having a great day. I am your host, Nick Jaworski, and I am here with James Martell, founder of the School of Internet Marketing and VP of Product Development for jambMEDIA. And we are also joined by Stephen Tye, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and host of the Canada Marketing Summit. Today's topic, Internet Marketing Conferences, Why It Pays to Attend. Now, before James joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions or require assistance, you can reach James's team at jambMEDIA and the School of Internet Marketing at 604-542-0747 and at jambMEDIA.com. James Martell has taught tens of thousands of business owners how to effectively market their businesses online through his ebooks, courses, live trainings and webinars, podcast, and speaking engagements. James, it is nice to talk with you again today.
Hey, Nick. Always great to be back.
And Stephen, it's great to have you on the line with us.
Thank you very much. It's brilliant to be here. Thanks for inviting me here.
Okay, now, James, in the past, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about the internet and its surprisingly negative effect on small business. We've talked about how to quickly evaluate the internet footprint of your business. We've talked about how Google will award you with high rankings and send you real traffic. We've talked about the value of citations and your local rankings. And we've talked about claiming your business listings. So for this session, though, we're going to shift gears and talk about internet marketing conferences and why it pays to attend. Okay, so Stephen, would you please kick us off by sharing a little of your background?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleased to. I moved here to BC around 3 years ago from the UK, from the Dorset coast of Great Britain. I mean, to be serious, why wouldn't you want to live in BC? Because it is, from my perspective, is a fabulous place with fabulous people filled with amazing vibrancy and also opportunity. Mm-hmm. Now, I've run my own business and own my own business since about 18 years old, and I've been online since 1996.
Wow.
So I've been around for a while now. I've bought and I've sold, and I've invested in at least 20 businesses over the last 20 years. And as a result of that sort of success, I've been hugely fortunate to have worked with some royalty, prime ministers, business celebrities all around the world. I was even asked to present a business mentoring program with the BBC, and I turned them down twice.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty good thing to say, I think. I mean, I'm not a big fan of reality TV, and when it starts to get moved towards reality TV, away from the seriousness of business, I sort of lose interest. You know, I've also advised and worked with some of the top blue chip companies and Fortune 500 companies in the world, including companies like the Financial Times, American Express, Lloyds Bank, Reader's Digest, Gore-Tex, Columbia Sportswear. You'll know those guys. They're just over the border. Business Link, British Heart Foundation, Walmart, Tesco's, just to name just a few, as well as thousands and thousands of individuals and small, medium enterprises. And the interesting thing is there's a lot of small businesses that can teach the big ones a great deal, as well as the other way around. I've been lucky enough to have some $1 million sales days, and I've also been unlucky enough to have $0 sales days. Mm-hmm. Like most people, I've had some big successes and also some huge disappointments. You know, disappointments are sadly just one of those things that you get in the business in general. Everybody goes through them. Everybody has them. And what I have done is learned an awful lot from big $1 billion businesses and also from the small $1,000 businesses as well. So, you know, I know how it works. And in fact, I would guess, I can almost guarantee your listeners today that regardless of what they do and where they are at this current moment in time, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, or in between, you know, I have been there myself, and I've survived and made a huge success of it, and have helped other people do the same thing. One of the things that concerns me a lot right now is because, you know, every business out there has a huge threat that's facing them, Nick. And it doesn't matter, you know, what it is. It could be lack of sales. It could be the economy. It could be financial. It could be personal. It could be competition. In fact, it could be absolutely anything, because every business has something that is threatening it right now. And our goal at the Canada Marketing Summit is to show you how to turn that threat into an opportunity. We wanted to help small businesses out there and medium businesses to help to double their sales, increase their sales and profits over the next 12 months. That's our whole ethos. And this isn't something that's particularly new to me, guys, because, this is something I've shown thousands of people to do over the years to increase their profits, free up their time, and transform the way that they achieve and sustain their success and get their long-term goals and strategies. In other words, it's to make your business bigger, better, more profitable, and less stressful.
And James, I want to bring you in here real quick. And you've attended dozens of events over the years. And what benefits have you experienced from attending these conferences?
Yes, I've had a chance to attend literally dozens and dozens of conferences over the last, 12, 15 years now. Since, I guess the first one I attended would have been back in 2002. So I guess 12 years ago was my first foray. And what Stephen had to say there about businesses having something threatening them, that's so true. And it's one of the reasons that I love getting out to these business conferences and these internet marketing conferences, because it gives us the ability to basically get out ahead of the curve and really kind of, position ourselves ahead of our competitors. Because I've found a lot of the competitors don't typically take the time to attend these conferences and to really even dig into this thing we call the internet. So of all the conferences that I've attended over the years, I've learned a lot about online business, and I've picked up a lot of strategies. And sometimes you go to a conference and you only get that one little nugget that made it worthwhile attending. But really, the biggest thing that I've found and the biggest benefit of attending these conferences is the contacts you make, and the ability to build out your Rolodex with people who are actually like-minded. I'm always one to make sure I get the speaker's business card. I'm always one to attend the networking events post-conference. Usually there's, if there's a conference that's over the weekend, such as the Canada Marketing Summit, in the evenings, invariably people get together and chat. And this is where a lot of business can be done. And you can also pick up a lot of tips. You can pick up business ideas of your own, things that other people are doing successfully that you may just not have thought about. You can learn about tools and maybe websites that can benefit you. And I find just attending really gives you a leg up over your competitors.
All right, so Stephen, let's talk about the Canada Marketing Summit. What's the format for the event, and what can attendees expect?
Well, the event is over 3 days, and it's on a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, and we have 18 top marketers like James and myself who are business people that are running their own successful businesses. So they're not wannabe businessmen or speakers as a general rule. They are actual businessmen that are doing business and learning and using techniques that have probably not been heard of before, in many cases, by the attendees. We also have some concession stands there with staff on hand to help as well. The whole point of the show is to get our attendees at the event to see how they can make many small changes to increase their businesses. Not just big changes or massive changes, small changes. As James said earlier, it is absolutely amazing what one single sentence that somebody says can just resonate with somebody in the audience, and they'll go away and apply that to their business, and it makes a big, big difference, huge difference. Now, 3 days may seem like a big chunk of time out of your week, and that's one of the reasons why 2 of the days are at the weekend. You've got to intrude into the weekend sometimes. Sometimes you can't just have all playtime. One weekend in 12 months to come and see this. And I promise you that the attending quality events like this are absolutely vital to your success, as James said earlier. It took the words right out of my mouth. You need to copy success. It's what almost every millionaire or billionaire has ever done. Look back at history. Choose one. Choose a millionaire or billionaire that's in profile and see what they've done. They've copied success. They've learned by other people's mistakes. If you don't get out there and see what other people are doing, you're going to be stuck in a rut, and your competition is simply going to blow you away. That's what the Canada Marketing Summit is about. Every single business out there right now is missing a whole bucket load of knowledge, and that could make the difference between breaking even or making small profits to taking control and making bigger profits, proper profits, sustainable profits. And that's one of the problems for most business owners and managers. When you're alone in your office, just you, if you've got a small business, or even when you've got staff as well, but you're alone, you're the decision maker, you can get so bogged down in running your business, you don't really get the opportunity to see and learn from what others are doing better than you. Running a business in this environment can be like, walking through mud or wading through mud. Something I always tell my clients is that you are the sum total of the 5 closest people around you. So look at the 5 people around you, Nick. Look at them and see who's in your current environment. If those 5 people, and you're in business, are not pulling in the same direction as you, you're on an uphill struggle. When you come to an event like Canada Marketing Summit, you meet new people, you network with new people, just like James said, you learn from new people, and the best thing is they're all similar to yourself. So you often end up working with new people as well, and even building new business partners or even funders with new people from the event. You and your business get revitalized. That's what happens at these events.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Now, speaking of successful people, James, you're going to be talking at the event. And so what are you going to be presenting?
Yeah, it was, and I appreciate it, Stephen. The invitation is wonderful to attend, especially, I must say, a conference in my own hometown. It's so nice to actually be able to hop in the car, drive to the conference, and not have to get on an airplane and head out of town. So it's real nice to be home, in the hometown, so to speak. But what I'll be speaking on is something that's really, something I'm really passionate about. Probably the number one strategy that I've employed over the last 10 plus years that has really allowed me to establish myself online as as an expert in our product category. And that's one of the primary things we're going to be talking about, is exactly how any business owner can do the same. And essentially what we're going to be talking about is how to dominate your market by creating an amazingly strong online web brand by hosting your own professionally produced podcast. And it's something that a lot of people haven't thought about. People can either probably they're looking at their desk now, or maybe they're in the car driving. I would bet within arm's length that they have a smartphone near them. And those little smartphones actually have a built-in MP3 or podcast player. And it's one of the primary reasons podcasting, although I've been doing it for over 10 years, in the last few years have absolutely exploded onto the scene. And it's because people have an MP3 player in their pocket. And if you take a look at the industry itself, and that's one of the things we're going to talk a lot about, is how we have this opportunity within the podcasting area to really establish ourselves, whether we're a small business or a professional, or maybe a lawyer, an accountant, a chiropractor, somebody who's really looking to position themselves in their market as the preeminent expert on their subject matter. And you take a look at some of the statistics, and we're going to cover this off in great detail. iTunes just had their 1 billionth podcast subscriber join the iTunes network. And iTunes is only one of many, many podcasting directories. They're the granddaddy for sure, but there's many, many others that attendees will be able to take advantage of if they have a podcast of their own. Right. And it's one of these things that people haven't really considered doing, is starting a podcast. Sometimes they're a little bit fearful. They don't really quite know much about it. We're going to cover all the details on exactly how to go about it and why their friendly voice. I mean, you listen to somebody's voice, especially a friendly, knowledgeable voice, they can very quickly and very easily establish confidence with their consumers and their prospects, their customers, and quite quickly position themselves as the expert or the trusted local expert if they're a local business looking to get a leg up on the competition. And then there's all the added benefits of owning your own podcast, which includes things like increased site rankings. It gives you a strong mobile presence. And, of course, a podcast is very, very easily shared, giving you a strong social media presence. So it's one of these topics that I think people are going to be a little bit surprised about. I've presented a number of times on the topic, and typically people come away from it thinking, I had no idea podcasting could be so dominant. And we're going to actually share some real life case studies, even of one gentleman that we just helped him launch a podcast in the last 2.5, maybe 3 months. I think we're just finishing up podcast number 9 right now. And just the in-reach he's had the ability to do just with 9 podcasts into his industry, staggering. So I'll be talking about, professionally produced business podcasting.